is in constant danger due to his various choices in life. Because of that, he's had to hire a large team of bodyguards to protect him. But what are the rules that are issued to keep him safe? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 10, why does he need bodyguards again?
He's got going with all the different rappers out there, and I gotta say, no one's getting close to him. No fans.
A small recap for those who aren't fully aware of the situation. 6ix9ine is a rapper who is known for being quite trollish and insulting just about everyone who is worth anything in order to get attention.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.
This is not why he needs protection. Rather, in his rise to fame, he joined a crew known as the 9 Trey Bloods, and he used them to get more fame and publicity in the United States.
There we go.
Here's some of the background, niggas.
However, eventually a rift formed within the group and 6ix9ine. Later on, the rift got so bad that when the FBI arrested all of them, including 6ix9ine, for various crimes, 6ix9ine ratted on them to get a lesser sentence, thus becoming a snitch, one of the most hated things in the rap community, for the record.
If you a rat, I don't respect you. Straight up, on no tight level.
The hatred for 6ix9ine only grew as he went into immense detail trying to prove his worth to the FBI and attorneys so that he could get a very small sentence, which he achieved. Despite initially being billed to get 47 years in prison, he served less than 2, and that includes house arrest. But that right there is the catch, because while the FBI did indeed get many members of the 9 Trey Bloods, they didn't get all of them, and thus 6ix9ine is in constant danger of gang retaliation, meaning that remaining members of the 9 Trey Bloods or groups who were loyal to them might go and try to take out 6ix9ine. Thus, to counter this, 6ix9ine needs numerous bodyguards and literal around-the-clock protection, which in turn means a lot of rules have to be followed. Number 9, the dummy cars.
I ain't gonna be hosting mess, man.
If you've watched a high-stakes movie, especially one where there is a protected target or someone like a presidential figure being followed around the city, you'll likely see a caravan of vehicles that are used for protection, with many of them being dummy cars that are used to confuse people and thus hide the location of the intended person until the package is delivered. On some levels, this might honestly seem like something that is a bit hokey, but in truth, it's something that really is used, and that includes 6ix9ine, which on some levels might sound weird because isn't that overkill? Ironically, it's not, because you need to think about this not in terms of the protection of 6ix9ine, but rather the opposing force that is honestly trying to take him out. This isn't a lone gunman or assailant with a grudge, rather this is a force, a large group with access to weaponry, proved by 6ix9ine during his testimony, that can honestly prove very dangerous and even detrimental. Because it was just a lone person trying to get revenge on 6ix9ine, which at this point we wouldn't be surprised if such a person was out there, an army of bodyguards would easily stop it from happening. Not unlike what happens with the Secret Service in a crowded area. But if it's a group, one that can be very well armed, that's another story entirely, because the more people that are involved, the more that the tactical options open up. One person can only attack from one direction, 2 can attack from 2 main sides, 3, 4 people can help surround a position, and if you have more than that, yeah, it gets messy pretty quickly. So while it may seem like a movie trope, having the dummy cars is a vital part of his defense and protection, because that means they'll either have to guess which car he's in and thus give the other cars time to escape, or they'll have to attack all the cars and thus expose them to a counterattack. Also, it should be noted that this defense tactic was proven during a recent 6ix9ine stunt that happened in Chicago. An Instagram user posted about a fleet of black cars that were going through Chicago when 6ix9ine was there. Number 8, masks. I'm sure some of you are thinking of very intimidating masks, like what special operatives wear in the military, right? Sadly, it's not that dramatic, but could you imagine if it was? We're just saying. Anyway, the rule in this case is about wearing masks to disguise the security guards that are protecting 6ix9ine. You might be thinking, why should they have to wear masks? They're not the ones in danger. But again, you're thinking about this in terms of protection of the offensive presence, because one of the things that 6ix9ine has to do, and oftentimes fails to do in his trolling measures, is not be seen in public and not have anyone know when he's out. The side effect of that, though, is his security forces. While 6ix9ine is easily recognizable, they are not, or at least they aren't supposed to be. Because if you think about it, if someone was to play it smart and use recon to try and get photographs of the security guards, all they would have to do is identify them and either bribe them in order to get them onto their side or get leverage on them so that they could be co-opted into their side. Again, we understand that this sounds like a movie plot, but there's a reason it's a good plot, because it works. Think about it objectively. 6ix9ine is surrounded by security, but if one of the guards was on the inside and either able to get 6ix9ine alone or plant something that would allow 6ix9ine to be taken out without anyone noticing, that would be a whole lot easier for the 9 Treys or whoever is going after 6ix9ine than doing an all-out assault. So thus, wearing masks is a vital thing. But it should be noted that one time on the New York subway, 6ix9ine's bodyguards weren't wearing masks, so you have to wonder if things are already in motion. Number 7, size and weight. This is one of the many rules that might sound like a dumb thing to require, but you'd be surprised by how many people in the celebrity world at large do things like this. Because apparently to be a part of 6ix9ine's security team, you must be at least 6'5" and weigh around 300 pounds. Yeah, those are some pretty big dudes, and that right there is the reason that this rule is in place. First impression. Because when you think of it, there are really two kinds of bodyguards. The ones that are meant to keep you safe and blend into environments, like certain guards for celebrities, and then there are ones who are used to be intimidating. Ones that are warning all who come close by, saying if you come to them, you're gonna have to deal with us. And for someone like 6ix9ine, that kind of intimidation factor is exactly what he needs, because he wants everyone to see his bodyguards and basically be warned to back off or else. Sure, you can do that with a lesser sized bodyguard who is very skilled, which we'll get to, but then you risk someone being willing to get close enough to them in order for those skills to come into play. By having these big bruisers of bodyguards, they send a message, and it's that message that 6ix9ine is relying on more times than not, because he knows the people coming after him are no joke, so thus the people defending him must be no joke either, because if they don't look the part, they won't inspire fear, and thus will put him in danger. Number 6, military training.
6ix9ine! What's up?
6ix9ine, let's get some shots, bro!
Unlike the last few, this is one that may seem a bit more obvious, because it's very easy to say that you're a bodyguard, but then to act in certain situations in order to protect those in trouble, that's another matter entirely. And when it comes to 6ix9ine, who has some very powerful enemies, you need to be able to deal with situations that can be violent, misleading, and potentially even traps being set. So thus, any member of 6ix9ine's security team must be either officially trained in combat or have combat experience, preferably military training in one of the 5 main branches, which again sounds very obvious, but sometimes obvious is good. Plus, bodyguard work is one type of work that many people come out of the military go for, especially in big city venues where you know there's a lot of potential for clients. But even in a regular sense, if you want a good bodyguard, you want someone who can handle themselves in intense situations, which former soldiers are most definitely suited for. Because think about it like this, if there was an attack on the convoy that held 6ix9ine, what would you want? A bunch of singular bodyguards trying to handle the situation, or a bunch of trained soldiers who will work together in order to try and figure out the best solution to the problem? Exactly. Teamwork is vital here, and even if they're separate branches, they'll all get that immediate concept. They'll work together to keep 6ix9ine safe and thus ensure that they're doing their jobs. 6ix9ine is an idiot in many respects, and we've talked about that a lot on this channel, but he's no fool when it comes to those protecting him. He's shelling out big money for his team of protectors, and he's making sure his money is getting him the best of the best. Number 5, where you're from matters. Do you recall that notion of one of the bodyguards getting corrupted and somehow exposing 6ix9ine? Well, there's many ways that this could happen, and thus the bodyguards that are hired have to go through a rigorous vetting process to ensure that they don't have certain red flags that could hurt 6ix9ine in the long run. Flags like what, you might ask? Well, aside from the obvious money problems, as that would be easy to exploit, their location is also one that matters, and not location as in where they are now, but rather having a location of birth or residence that is close to a major crime factor. That might sound oddly specific, but we'll explain. As noted, 6ix9ine's foes aren't just people, they're members of a very dangerous group. As a result, they're facing people with influence, with reach, and with a lot of connections. So for example, if someone grew up in the area where the 9 Trey Bloods resided, there's a small but reasonable chance that one of the bodyguards in question could have a connection big or small to the group, as well as maybe knowing one of the people who 6ix9ine put away. Thus, they're not preferable to have on the team. But if it was just the New York area that they were looking out for, then they'd be in the clear. But it's not just the 9 Trey Bloods and their loyalists that want his blood. 6ix9ine has ticked off a lot of other groups in the past, including ones that were rivals to the 9 Treys, and thus see 6ix9ine as vulnerable. They need to make sure that no bodyguard was in contact in any way with these groups via living in their areas, else risk exposure. Number 4, the perimeter. Here's another somewhat obvious one, but it's something that obviously must be done in order to keep 6ix9ine safe. While it may be true that no one will know where 6ix9ine is going, a smart person, like some of these groups, would be able to ascertain patterns that could lead to when and where 6ix9ine will be, like when he had to go constantly to his lawyer for checkups and such. So thus, if 6ix9ine is going to be heading to a location, no matter what the location is, his bodyguards must go and check that perimeter and make sure that there are no threats at all, period. And we're not saying like just go and do a walk around the building that he's aiming to go to, that would be too easy to get around. Rather, we're talking about them doing a 2-mile perimeter to make sure there's nothing serious going on. They'll be on the lookout for suspicious vehicles, see if anything sticks out of the ordinary, and more. A great example of this working out to good effect is that when 6ix9ine was under house arrest at the undisclosed location he was housed at, his security found certain threats that appeared to indicate that he was in danger, thus he had to move to another safe house. So while it may be basic, it's also something that has paid dividends. Number 3, stop and frisk.
Don't shoot!
As we'll reveal in a bit, 6ix9ine has been a busy man after getting out of prison in order to try and get things back on track in his life, if there is such a thing. This means taking meetings, having visitors now that he's out of house arrest, and going on trips to, well, do 6ix9ine things. But that has various problems because that means that he's going to be meeting with people that could potentially harm him. So thus, when a person is to meet with 6ix9ine, they have to be stopped and frisked in order to show that they have no weapons nor mean any harm to 6ix9ine. While we're sure that some of these people are not going to be happy with this notion, it's non-negotiable because for all 6ix9ine knows, some of his enemies could have gotten to people he's meeting with. As if that wasn't enough, when he does go into a meeting, he must have 2 security guards outside the door for the protection, as well as making sure that no one surprises them in a meeting who hasn't been vetted yet. Again, it seems stingy, but the threat against 6ix9ine is real and they're taking a lot of steps to ensure safety. How to set up a meeting.
I'm trying, honey. This is a severe celeb.
Obviously, given the danger to 6ix9ine, he can't just go anywhere to meet with someone or to have someone come and meet with him. Rather, everything has to be planned out to the minute mark to ensure that there is nothing that can go wrong, or at least have minimal prep time to dissuade those who might have had bad intentions. For example, if you go and got a meeting with 6ix9ine, you can't select the location. It will be 6ix9ine and the team of security who get the choice of venue. Then the location will be scouted, ensured for safety, and only after all that is done will it be approved. But you can't just go there. Rather, the person meeting with 6ix9ine will get a 10-minute heads up prior to the meeting time to let them know where they need to go. The limit's time for any untoward parties to try and plan something, because at a location you're not familiar with, timing is everything, and 6ix9ine doesn't want to be caught off guard just because a planned meeting didn't go through the proper steps. Number 1, filming with 6ix9ine.
Record for single-day viewership and eventually becomes 6ix9ine's first #1 record on the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
Okay, this one is going to sound like another ridiculous rule, but we can prove this happened. You see, when 6ix9ine got out of jail when he pleaded with the judge to release him due to the pandemic sweeping through the prison, he was put under house arrest for a few months, at an undisclosed location of course. From that point on, he had security because he needed it, which was fine. But then he decided he wanted to get right back into making music and music videos. Problem: he couldn't hire camera crews in studios and such because this was in the early stages of the global pandemic and everything was shut down. Thus, he had to get creative. So the first few music videos he shot were actually done on phones, which is honestly rather clever, and given how phones are nowadays, very easy to do. However, there was another problem. He didn't exactly have a lot of crew to do the job, and again, he couldn't hire them. So he came up with another solution. He had the bodyguards do the work. That's right, they acted as cameramen, light holders, mic holders, etc. Also, 6ix9ine could make his music videos, which turned out better than you might expect and even broke records in terms of YouTube with Gooba. But problem: the bodyguards weren't hired to do that task. So 6ix9ine had to use the ultimate solution: money. That's right, 6ix9ine actually paid his bodyguards more money in order to make sure they would film his music videos. What a world. But in many ways, this shows just how 6ix9ine views both his life, but what's more important to him in his life, because he won't let the threat of death and violence stop him from making music. And if that means shelling out more cash to get unwilling bodyguards to help, so be it. Again, what a world. And there you have it, a look at the bodyguards of 6ix9ine and the various lengths that they have to go in order to keep their clients safe. Can you believe the rules that they indeed have to follow? Do you think that these set of rules are enough to keep 6ix9ine safe? Or will these rappers' antics get him in trouble in the end? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe. I'm King Trending, and I'll see you next time.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.